Hi, good morning. I wish I could say it's great to see you, but either way, it's great to be with you wherever you are listening to this daily encouragement for us. Obviously, we've just heard from the government that we can expect restrictions on our life to be continuing perhaps for the next 12 to 13 weeks. The thought that life may not get back to normal for another 6 months, and we don't know what that looks like for our daily lives or indeed for our gatherings. So I just want to encourage you wherever you are to not get by on just hoping that things will be better in a week or 2 week or 3 weeks time, but to start to cultivate new rhythms, new routines, new ways of life to see you through in this new normal for this present time. And what I believe that looks like for us is that to dig in to God, to dig deep into Him, to develop routines and ways and places to be able to be with God and hear from God and really go deep in your relationship with Him through study of the Word, through prayer. Perhaps you've struggled to read the Bible, or you struggle to pray. Now is the time to invest in grab some free resources to help you to do those things. You cannot get by the way God would want you to in your own strength. God wants there to be good for you in this midst of this awful circumstance, and that good is to know Him more, and that good is to know Him better, and to know His peace, and to know His love, and to know joy in the midst of trial and adversity as we dig in, as we let our lives go deep. So we read from the end of Psalm 46 on Sunday, which was just an astonishing service. I love that. I love that we were reaching Australia and the Dominican Republic and across the world. So thank you guys if you are still tuned in for us for joining. But verses 1 to 7 are also stunning in their relevance to us in this situation. Let me read it to us. God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Therefore we will not be afraid, though the earth trembles and the mountains topple into the depths of the seas, though its waters roar and foam and mountains quake within the turmoil. There is a river, its streams delight the city of God, the holy dwelling place of the Most High. God is within her, she will not be toppled. Nations rage, kingdoms topple, the earth melts when He lifts His voice. The Lord of armies is with us, the God of Jacob is our stronghold. We need to find our refuge and strength in the Lord, don't we? A helper who is always found in times of trouble. God is faithful to meet us in the midst of the uncertainty and the midst of the difficulties that we're each facing right now, whether that be within your workplace, whether it's in your home life. God is always with us. And therefore we need not be afraid, even if the earth trembles and mountains fall into the sea. Now, I understand there's no risk of that. They're not forecasting that yet for us. So even now in the midst of COVID-19, we can find our strength and our hope and find joy from our helper in this time. And then verse 4, there is a river that streams that delight the city of God, the holy dwelling place of the Most High. We saw in our 1 Peter series and our home series that we as the church are being built together by God as living stones to form this dwelling place. So God is dwelling amongst us as His church across this city and across the nations. And we have a river. We have living water. We have life that flows out from the Father through the Son by the work of the Spirit into our lives. And so we can live in those streams. We can dwell in a place of receiving fresh water, of life, of delight. Coming from God, flowing out of God. God is one who overflows with delight and love for us. And so with God being within us as a church, we will not be toppled. God is building His church. He's still building His church. He's building a community. So please be encouraged this morning as you ponder on those words, as you think of Sunday and our reach and our influence, as you think of what God longs to do in you in this season, the depth of intimacy there is to be found in Him, how your prayer life, how your devotional life, how your Bible reading, how everything can work together. God can use those things to bring you to a place of depth and a place of joy and a place of peace, but to have the abundance of life that He has promised us as those who believe, even in the midst of trial. Okay, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.